Kathy Griffin is an American comedian and actress. She has starred in television series, comedy specials, and has released multiple comedy albums. In 2007 and 2008, Griffin won Primetime Emmy Awards for her reality show Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List. She has also appeared in supporting roles in films. Born 1960, age 63 years, Oak Park, Illinois. Spouse, Randy Bick, M. 2020, Matt Moline, M. 2001 to 2006. Siblings, Kenny Griffin, Gary Griffin. Parents, Maggie Griffin, John Patrick Griffin. Height, 5'3". Subjects, popular culture, current events, Catholicism, LGBTQ community, Irish American culture. Kathy Griffin net worth $50 million. Early life. Kathleen Mary Griffin was born on November 4, 1960, in the Chicago suburb Oak Park, Illinois, to Mary Margaret Maggie Griffin, née Corbally, 1920–2020, and John Patrick Griffin, 1916–2007, both of whom were first-generation Irish Americans. Kathy has 4 older siblings: Kenny, died in the 2000s, Joyce, died 2017, Gary, died 2014, and John. Kathy described herself during her early years as being a kid who needed to talk all the time. Her brother Gary and her sister Joyce both died from cancer. Kathy Griffin would often visit her neighbors to tell them stories about her family. She has referred to those visits as her first live shows, where she learned the power of juicy material. After most of her siblings had moved, Griffin developed a binge-eating disorder. In her 2009 autobiography Official Book Club Selection, Griffin said she still suffers but has learned to deal with them. Griffin's eldest brother Kenny was a drug addict and homeless at various times. She said she was afraid of him until the moment he died because of his violent, abusive nature. When Kathy was 7, Kenny, who was 20 years older, would climb into her bed and whisper into her ears. Kathy did not tell her parents until she was in her 20s, at which point Kenny admitted his pedophilia to them. At elementary school, Griffin began to develop a dislike for organized religion because of the punishments she and other vulnerable students received from the nuns. At her high school, she sought refuge in musical theater, playing roles such as Rosemary in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying and Hodel in Fiddler on the Roof. During her senior year, she wanted to become a professional actor. Her first appearance on television was as an extra on a Chicago White Sox commercial, and she was signed with several Chicago talent agencies. At 18, Griffin persuaded her parents to move to Los Angeles to help her become famous. At 19, Griffin attended a performance by the improvisational group The Groundlings. She said, "I thought this is where I want to be. This is the greatest thing in the world." Career: stand-up comedy, television, and film. Griffin began performing in the early 1990s in the Los Angeles improvisational comedy troupe The Groundlings. She went on to perform stand-up comedy and became part of the alternative comedy scene in Los Angeles. With Janeane Garofalo, she created a stand-up act called Hot Cup of Talk, which became the title of her 1998 solo HBO special. Griffin earned a number of television and film credits during the 1990s. She appeared in Julie Brown's Medusa, Dare to Be Truthful, a Showtime parody of the 1991 Madonna film Truth or Dare. Griffin twice appeared as Susan Klein, a reporter on NBC's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was her television sitcom debut. On June 12, 2008, Griffin hosted the first Bravo Canada A-List Awards, which included a parody of the wardrobe malfunction experienced by Janet Jackson in the Super Bowl halftime show in 2004. She also hosted the 2009 Bravo A-List Awards, which aired on April 15, 2009, and her Bravo special Kathy Griffin, She'll Cut a Bitch aired beforehand. Shout! Factory released an extended version of the show on DVD in early 2010. On September 8, 2009, Ballantine Books published Griffin's memoir, titled Official Book Club Selection, a memoir according to Kathy Griffin, which debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list. A week prior, she released her second comedy album, Suckin' It for the Holidays. It was her second bid to win a Grammy Award. It was announced on November 3, 2009, that Griffin was to host ABC's new show Let's Dance, on which celebrity contestants would have reenacted famous dance routines while competing for a $250,000 prize for their favorite charity. Griffin hosted CNN's New Year's Eve broadcast on December 31, 2009, along with Anderson Cooper. As Cooper talked about the Balloon Boy hoax, Griffin said, "Fucking." Although Griffin was rumored to have been banned from future CNN broadcasts, she co-hosted the show with Cooper until 2017. In 2017, CNN terminated Griffin from its New Year's Eve broadcast after Griffin showed pictures of herself holding a bloody, model severed head resembling President Donald Trump. Griffin has also guest-starred in a 2009 episode of Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, playing a lesbian activist. Since the 2008 presidential election, Griffin has made frequent jokes about Republican vice presidential contender Sarah Palin and her family. On U.S. television program Glee, Griffin parroted Palin posing as a judge at a regional singing competition. Griffin also made fun of Christine O'Donnell in the show by stating, "Before we start, I would like to say I am not a witch." On January 7, 2012, it was announced that Griffin would host a weekly one-hour talk show on the channel Kathy, which would consist of stand-up routines, rant about pop culture, and celebrity interviews. On April 8, 2013, during a live stand-up performance in Cincinnati, Ohio, Griffin announced that her show would not be renewed for a third season. She confirmed it later on her Twitter account. According to Fox 411, Bravo was planning to film several comedy specials starring Griffin after the show ended. On June 13, 2014, it was announced that Griffin would host the 41st Daytime Emmy Awards. For the first time in the event's four-decade history, the show bypassed a network television airing for a live online streaming media event. The ceremony took place on June 22, 2014. Griffin's performance was well received by critics. Personal life. Griffin is an atheist. Speaking to Sacramento's Outward magazine, Griffin said, "I think I'm getting more atheist because of the way the country is getting more into Bible thumping." She also describes herself as a non-believer. In her book Official Book Club Selection, a memoir according to Kathy Griffin, Griffin said that while in high school, she fell away from her Roman Catholic Church beliefs. She considered becoming a Unitarian but was not sure what that would involve. On March 9, 2008, Kathy Griffin became an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church. In a 2006 interview, Griffin said she does not drink alcohol. She is an opponent of LASIK eye surgery, having had a series of operations that left her partially blind in one eye with a visible eyeball deformity. Griffin's only sister, Joyce Patricia Griffin, died in September 2017 from an undisclosed form of cancer. Kathy had shaved her head in solidarity with her in late July. Her brother Gary died of esophageal cancer in 2014. Her estranged eldest brother, Kenny, died in October 2001 in their mother's arms. Her father, John Patrick Griffin, died of heart failure on February 17, 2007. He was 91 years old. The episode related to his death was aired on June 19, 2007. Her mother, Maggie Griffin, who was featured in her reality show, died on March 17, 2020. In a post on her social media accounts, Griffin said, "I am gutted. My best friend. I am shaking. I won't ever be prepared. I'm so grateful you guys got to be part of her life. You knew her. You loved her. She knew it. Oh, and of course she went on St. Patrick's Day. She placed 17th on Oxygen's 2007 list of the 50 funniest women alive. In 2009, a Golden Palm Star on the Palm Springs, California, Walk of Stars was dedicated to her. Griffin lived in the Hollywood Hills from 2004 to 2016. Since then, she has resided in Bel Air. In August 2021, she announced that she had been diagnosed with lung cancer although she is not a smoker, and needed to have half of her left lung removed. She underwent surgery the same month. In April 2023, Griffin revealed she was diagnosed with an extreme case of complex post-traumatic stress disorder.